dramatic interpretation, please take your seats so we can start on time. We're going to be closing the doors in a moment. Alright, welcome to round 3 and dramatic interpretation. If you have a cell phone, can you please turn it off or set it to silent mode? Also, no video recordings of any kind, please. We have a wonderful professional videographer who's capturing all of this, and you will be able to see this in the comfort of your own homes later on. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Can we welcome our first speaker, Jinwoo Lee. Can we close the door, please, in the back?
Oh, it's fine.
Close the door, please. Thank you.
I'll be celebrating the 500th year anniversary of the Reformation by interpreting the origin and excoriation of Catholicism back in 1517. The published work known as the 95 Theses was released in Wittenberg, Germany, hammered into the door of the Catholic Church. Out of love for the truth and the desire to bring it to light, I have a few words to speak. In the name of my Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. First of all, papal indulgences do not remove guilt. Be aware of those who say that indulgences affect the reconciliation with God. The power of the keys cannot make attrition into contrition. He who is contrite has plenary remission of guilt and penalties without indulgences. The Pope can remove only those penalties which he himself has imposed on earth. For Christ did not say, "Whatsoever is bound in heaven, you may loose on earth." Therefore, I claim that the Pope has no jurisdiction over purgatory. If the Pope does have the power to release anyone from purgatory, why in the name of love does he not release anyone from purgatory? Why is he not doing that? If for the sake of miserable money, he releases countless souls, why should he not? For the sake of most holy love, empty the place. To say that souls are liberated from purgatory is audacious. To say they're released as soon as the coffer rings is to incite avarice. The Pope would do better to give everything away without any charge. Indulgences are positively harmful to the recipient because they impede salvation by diverting charity and inducing a false sense of security. Christians should be taught that he who gives to the poor is better than he who receives a pardon. He who spends his money for indulgences instead of relieving want receives not the indulgence of the Pope, but the indignation of God. We are told that the money should be given by the preference to the poor, only in the case of extreme necessity. I suppose we're not to clothe the naked and visit the sick. Did Christ say, "Let him that has a cloak, sell it and buy an indulgence"? Indulgences are most pernicious because they induce complacency and thereby imperil salvation. Those persons are damned who think that the letter of indulgences make them certain of salvation. God works by contraries, so that a man feels himself to be already lost at the very moment when he's on the point of being saved. He must be consumed with horror. This is the pain of purgatory. In this disturbance, salvation begins. When man believes himself to be already lost, light breaks. Peace comes in the word of Christ through faith. He who does not have this is lost, even though he be absolved 1,000,000 times by the Pope. And he who does have this may not wish to be released from purgatory. Why? For true contrition seeks penalty. Therefore, Christians should be encouraged to bear the cross. Revenues of all Christendom were being sucked into this insatiable basilica. Germans laugh at calling this the common treasure of Christendom. Before long, all the churches, palaces, bridges of Rome will be built out of our own money. The Pope would do better to sell St. Peter's and give the money to the poor folk who are being fleeced by the hawkers of the indulgences. And as I said in my thesis, await and be with those prophets who say to the people of Christ, peace, peace. There's no peace. Blessed be all those prophets who say to the people of Christ, cross, cross. And there's no cross. Christians are to be exhorted that they be diligent in following Christ. Their heads through penalties, death, and hell, and thus be confident of entering into heaven, rather through many tribulations than through the assurance of peace.
You can keep the door open for a bit longer. I'll let you know when we can close the door. Please close the door. If you're joining us, please take a seat. Welcome to Dramatic Interpretation. Please make sure your cell phones are turned off or set to silent mode. And no video recording, please. Everything is being recorded and you'll be able to see it after the day is over. So can we please welcome our second contestant, Claire Flochel.
Today I'll be presenting a real letter from an abuse victim from the site Letters to My Abusers, which is a site to help abuse victims get over their harm. Mum, to a very special mum this Mother's Day. You brought me into this world and taught me so many things to make me this way. From how to stick my fingers down my throat when people called me fat, to how to cover the bruises you gave me with makeup, and blame scratches on the cat. How to keep my mouth shut unless you directed me to speak, and how to effectively clean up broken glass with my bare hands and feet. You helped me see the truths of the world, that People are just out there to hurt me by holding me down and violating me for everyone to see. You taught me how to live a double life because if I whispered a word, it would just bring me more strife. You taught me to fear others till I was about 20. Always scared that, like, as a child, you'd be right there to burn me. You inadvertently taught me how to teach myself to survive. But without me to torture, your life was empty and deprived. You lied to me to get me back near your end, saying it was me with whom your final days you wanted to spend. You said you were sorry. You said you had changed. For me to believe you, I must have been deranged. As I entered your room, a flashback. You barging into the bathroom, pushing me off the toilet, pulling my first tampon out of me, throwing it in my face, and calling me a whore. I swallowed my pain in the filthy ways you made me feel down to my core. But after only 5 minutes with you, you reopened all those doors. I was so furious I wanted to scream. But you looked so sick, so pathetic. So I swallowed my hatred and practiced being ascetic. I told you I loved you as you wanted to hear, but I was choking on my words because it was such a lie. I was such a coward, it makes me sick. It makes me cry. You messed me up in so many ways that my husband might be leaving me because he can't bear to stay. You still ruined my life, even though now you're dead. And sometimes I wish you weren't, so I could smother you with a pillow in your filthy hospice bed. As a child, I thought I must have done something wrong, that it was my fault. As a teenager, I was used to it and tried taking it with a grain of salt. I've tried reasoning with myself over the years that you had your own problems and used abuse to mask your own tears. But truthfully, that excuse doesn't hold water, because it doesn't change the fact that you did these things to your own daughter. But enough is enough, and though I'll never forgive you, I can now take solace in knowing it wasn't my fault and that, even though you're my mother, it might be okay to despise every wretched and vile part of you. I can be better, and I can be strong, and I can take comfort in knowing what you did was wrong. So, to the mother who scarred me and made me neurotic, who made me want to kill myself, who made me feel psychotic, Happy Mother's Day, Mum. I hope you're burning in hell. No longer yours, Dollface.
Yeah, you decide if you want to use this space or this area. It's totally up to you. You don't mind that way. Yeah, there. Yeah, there. Thank you, yes. Welcome to Dramatic Interpretation. If you've just joined us, can you please make sure your cell phones are shut off or silent? And please know video recording. There is a video recording being made which you can find on the Seisen website after the contest is over. So can you please join me in welcoming our third speaker, Astrid Wyman.
This is an excerpt from the Diary of Now, a young Japanese girl struggling with being bullied. After moving back to Japan from California, she's ostracized by her entire school community. In light of this loneliness, she is considering to commit suicide. However, her grandmother's last words give her hope and encourage her to keep living. This monologue is taken from A Tale for the Time Being. When we arrived at the temple, old Jiko was still alive, but there were a lot of people waiting around for her to die. Some of the Danka and a few nuns and priests and even a few newspaper reporters had come on account of her being just a little bit famous for being so old. We were her family, so we got special VIP treatment and got to go right and see her. Old Jiko was lying in a futon. She looked so tiny, like an ancient child. Her skin was almost transparent, and under it I could see the beautiful, round bones of her cheeks. She was staring up at the ceiling, and when I knelt beside her and took her hand, she turned around and looked at me through her milky, blue, flowers of emptiness. Yokata, she whispered. Mami attane. You came, she said. Just in time. Her fingers were like thin, dry sticks. I thought I felt her squeeze my hand with her hot fingers. I couldn't make any words come out of my mouth because I was trying not to cry. What was there to say? She knew I loved her. But there was something that she wanted to tell me. I think she'd been waiting. She raised her arms and struggled to sit up. I tried to help her, but her body was just bones in a skin bag, and I was afraid to hurt her. She wanted to sit in Seiza, so they had to lift her by her armpits and onto her knees. A brush and ink were already positioned on a small table. She dipped her brush in thick black ink, pressing and tapping it lightly against the inkstone like she had all the time in the world. In honor of her great effort and supernatural ability to slow time, we all sat up a little straighter, and the room grew very still. It wasn't a poem. It was a single character. 5 strokes. Sei, ikiru, to live. Still holding the brush, she looked at me and my dad. For now, she said, for the time being. She took a long, rattling breath, and then another. And then the world exhaled with her.
24. Thank you. Okay, if you could please close the door. Welcome to dramatic interpretation. Please make sure your cell phones are turned off or set to silent, and no video recordings. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to download it from the Seisen website at the end of the day. Can you please welcome our fourth speaker, Yuka Soda.
Today I will be performing Willie Lomax's monologue from the play Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller, in which Howard, the son of Willie's deceased boss, is about to fire him. Business is definitely business, but just listen for a minute how you don't understand. When I was a boy, 18, 19, I was already on the road. And there's a question in my mind as to whether selling had a future for me. Because in those days, I felt like going to Alaska. See, there were 3 gold strikes in 1 month in Alaska. I felt like going out. Just for the ride, you might say. My father lived many years in Alaska, and he was an adventurous man. We've got quite a little streak of self-reliance in our family. I thought I'd go out with my older brother and try to locate him, and I was almost decided to go, when I met a salesman in a Parker house. His name was Dave Singleman. He was 84 years old, and he drove merchandise in 31 states. And old Dave, he'd go up to his room, you understand, put on his green velvet slippers. I'll never forget. Pick up a phone, call the buyers, and without ever leaving his room, at the age of 84, he made his living. And when I say that, I realized that selling was the greatest career a man could want. Because what could be more satisfying than to go into 20 or 30 different cities, pick up a phone, and be remembered and loved and helped by so many different people. You know, when he died, and by the way, he died the death of a salesman in his green velvet slippers, and the smokers of New York, New Haven, Hartford, going to Boston. When he died, hundreds of salesmen and buyers got his funeral. Things were sad on a lot of trains for months after that. You see, in those days, there was personality in it, Howard. There was respect, comradeship, and gratitude in it. Today it's all cut and dried, and there's no chance for bringing friendship to bear or personality. You see what I mean? They don't know me
made across this desk. You mustn't tell me you've got people to see. I put 36 years into this firm, Howard, and now I can't pay my insurance. You can't eat the orange and throw the peel away. A man is not a piece of fruit. No. Pay attention. Yeah? Your father. In 1928, I had a big year. I averaged $170 a week in commission. And no! I averaged $170 a week in the year 1928. And your father came up to me, or rather it was in his office here. It was right across this desk there. He put his hand on my shoulder and now I'm going telling me I need to put myself together, Howard. No, Howard. Wait! Pull myself together. What the hell did I say to him? My God. I was yelling at him. How could I? Frank. Frank, don't you remember what you said to me that one time? You put your hand on my shoulder. Frank.
This is closer to the audience, obviously. That they can see that there's all right, yes, please close the door. Thank you. You can let a few more people in. You don't have to close the door in their faces. Come in. We're going to start. Last chance to sit down. Let's go. Wow, certain influx here. That's great. Nice, come in, sit down. You made it. Okay. Welcome to dramatic interpretation. If you have a cell phone, which I'm sure you all do, switch it off or turn it to silent mode, and no recording a video on your personal devices. We are recording it for you, and it will be available on the Seisen website after the contest. Can you please welcome our fifth speaker, Eric De Silva.
My name is Christopher John Francis Boone. I know all the countries of the world and all the capital cities. I also know all the prime numbers up to 7,507. Mother died 2 years ago. I came home from school one day and no one answered the door. So I got the secret key under the flower pot and let myself inside. I wiped my feet on the floor and placed the key inside the bowl and hung up my coat next to the refrigerator so I can take it to school the next day. Then I went up to my room. I gave 3 pellets of rat food to Toby. Most people don't like rats because they think they carry diseases like bubonic plague. That's only because they live in sewers and stowed away on ships from foreign countries. But Toby is very clean. I played 6 games of Tetris and got to level 38, which is my 4th ever best score. An hour later, Father came back from work. He told me, Mother had a heart attack. It wasn't expected. It was probably an aneurysm. Autism is a complex neurobiological condition in which it impairs the individual's social interaction abilities and communication skills. From this selection from the production of The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, Christopher tries to understand and investigate the workings of the world. I find people confusing for 2 main reasons. The first main reason is that people do a lot of talking without using any words. Siobhan, my teacher, says that if you raise 1 eyebrow, it can mean, I want to have sex with you. Or it can also mean, I think what you just said was very stupid. The second main reason why I find people confusing is that people do a lot of talking while using metaphors, examples of metaphors. We had a real pig of a day. They had a skeleton in the cupboard. He was the apple of my eye. Metaphors should be called lies. A pig is not like a day, and people do not have skeletons in their cupboards. And when I try to imagine a person with an apple in their eye, it just confuses me because it has nothing to do with me liking that person. And it makes me forget what we were talking about. Yesterday, I angered Father. He said I was sticking my nose in somebody else's business, which is another metaphor, because I cannot stick my nose in somebody else's business. But I was only investigating the murder of my neighbor's dog. But he took away my book with all my clues in it. So I decided to do some detecting of my own. I started by looking in the kitchen. I looked in the cupboards and the refrigerator, but no book. Then I looked in the living room. There, I found the wheel of Airfix Messerschmitt BF 109 G6 model under the sofa. Then I went upstairs. I didn't do any detecting in my own room because I reasoned that Father wouldn't put my book inside my own room unless he was being very clever and doing what is called a double bluff, like in a real murder mystery novel. So I decided to detect in my father's room first. Under the bed, there were 5 shoes, a comb with lots of hair in it, a Homer Simpson tie, and a wooden spoon, but not my book. Then I looked in the drawers. There was a nail clipper, a tampon, and a battery, but not my book. Then I looked in the wardrobes. Inside the wardrobe, there was a gray plastic toolbox for doing it yourself. But I didn't have to open it because it was made of gray, transparent plastic. But under the box, there was a shoebox. I opened the shoebox. And that is when I found the envelope. I picked up the envelope. It was addressed to me, Christopher Boone, 36 Randall Street, London, Wiltshire. I opened the envelope. Dear Christopher, I was looking through some old photos last night, which made me very sad. Then, I found a picture of you playing with a train set I bought you a couple of Christmases ago, which made me very happy. Do you remember you used to play with it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you refused to go to bed without it? You haven't written it back to me yet, so I know you're so angry with me. I hope you write me back. Lots of love. Your mom. I was confused! Mom had never written me a letter before. There was no date on the letter, so I couldn't find out when she sent the letter, but the postmark said 16th of October 2013, which means she sent the letter 18 months after she had died. It made no sense. I couldn't process all this information. It was too much for me. It was too much. I couldn't do this anymore. I tried not to think about it that night, because I didn't want to jump into wrong conclusions. 2, 3, 5, 7, 13.
Probably in the perfect spot for Miffy to yell at, because I think this is where he yells.
Okay, if you could please close the door. Welcome to dramatic interpretation. If you have a cell phone, please turn it off or make sure it's on silent mode. No personal recording of video. We are recording it and it will be available on the Seisen website at the end of the contest. Can you please join me in welcoming our sixth contestant, Arina Yamanami.
This scene is from Harper Lee's novel To Kill a Mockingbird. The scene takes place in Alabama in the 1930s during an era of institutionalized racial segregation in the United States. You will witness a controversial trial between Mayla Ewell, a white woman who accuses a young black man, Tom Robinson, of rape. The monologue you're about to hear is a closing argument of the defense attorney Atticus Finch to the all-white, all-male jury. Gentlemen, I shall be brief, but I would like to use my remaining time with you to remind you that the case of Mayla Ewell versus Tom Robinson is not a difficult one. To begin with, this case should have never come to trial. The state of Alabama has not produced one iota of medical evidence that shows that the crime Tom Robinson is charged with ever took place. This case is as simple as black and white. It requires no minute sifting of complicated facts, but it does require you to be sure beyond all reasonable doubt as to the guilt of the defendant. Miss Ewell did something that in our society is considered unspeakable. She is white and she tempted a black man. The defendant is not guilty, but someone in the courtroom is. I have nothing but pity in my heart for the chief witness for the state. But my pity does not extend so far as to her putting a man's life at stake. She knew full well the enormity of her offense, but because her desires were stronger than the code she was breaking, she persisted. The state of Alabama has relied solely upon the testimony of 2 witnesses whose evidence has not only been called into serious question, but has flatly contradicted the defendant's statement. I need not to remind you that the appearance and conduct of the 2 witnesses, they have presented themselves in the cynical confidence that their testimony would not be doubted. They were confident that you, the jury, would go along with the evil assumptions that all black men lie and are immoral. Tom Robinson is accused of rape when it was she who had made the advances on him. He put his word out against 2 white peoples, and now he is on trial for no apparent reason except that he is black. Thomas Jefferson once said that all men are created equal, a phrase that the government is fond of hurling at us. There is a tendency in this year of grace, 1935, for certain people to use this phrase out of context to satisfy all conditions. We know that all men are not created equal, in the sense that some people would have us believe. Some men are smarter than others. Some men have more money than others. Some people have more opportunity than others because they are born with it. And some people are just more gifted than others. But there is one way in this country in which all men are created equal. An institution that makes a pauper equal of a Rockefeller, the ignorant man equal of any president, and the stupid man equal of Einstein. That institution is this court. But the court is only as sound as its jury, and the jury is only as sound as the people who make it up. I am confident that you will review without passion the evidence you have heard, come to a decision, and restore the defendant to his family. In the name of God, do your duty. In the name of God, gentlemen, believe Tom Robinson. Thank you.
517, thank you. Is Mifuyu here? Ah, just give us a second. All right, can you please close the door? All right, welcome to Dramatic Interpretation. If you've just joined us, please make sure your cell phones are switched off or on silent mode. No video recording on your personal devices, please. It is being recorded, so you'll be able to access that through the Seisen website at the end of the contest. Could you please welcome our 7th contestant in this category, Mifuyu Hori.
Today I'll be reciting Hermione's monologue from Shakespeare's Winter's Tale, Act 3, Scene 2. And this scene is set at the Court of Justice, where Hermione is unjustly accused of treason and adultery and sentenced to death. Since what I am to say must be which contradicts my accusation, and the testimony on my part no other, but what comes from myself, it shall scarce move me to say, not guilty. Mine integrity, being counted falsehood, shall, as I express it, be so received. Powers divine behold our human actions as they do, I doubt not then, but innocence shall make false accusations blush in tyranny. Me? A traitor? Sir! You speak a language I understand not. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down. Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would frighten me with, I seek. To me, can life be no commodity? The crown and comfort of my life, your favor. I do get lost, and I do feel it gone, and not know how it went. My second joy and first fruits of my body. From his presence I am barred, like one infectious. My third comfort, starved most unluckily, is from my breast. The innocent milk in its most innocent mouth. Held out to murder myself on every post, proclaimed a strumpet. With immodest hatred, the childbirth privilege denied which longs to women of all fashion. And lastly, hurried here to this place, in the open air before, I have got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die. Therefore, proceed. But yet, hear this! Mistake me not, no life, I prized not a straw. But for mine honor, which I would free if I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proof sleeping else, but when your jealousies awake, I tell you, it is rigor and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo, be my judge. Thank you.
Have a look. See what you have Okay, all right, if you could please close the door. Thank you. So, welcome to dramatic interpretation. As usual, please make sure your cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. No video recording on your personal devices, please. It is all being recorded, so you'll be able to watch it in the comfort of your own home later via the Seisen website. Can we please welcome our 8th speaker today, Malavika Pramod.
So today I'll be reciting a dramatic monologue named Crazy, and it's taking place at a psychiatrist's office where a mother is grieving after she lost 2 of her children in a fire. Crazy? Define crazy. Am I crazy? Do I look crazy to you? Do you even know what crazy is? Have you ever been crazy? I have never been crazy. I don't know what crazy is. Why do you think I'm crazy? Just because of what happened to me? Do you know what happened to me? Or do you just know what it says on that paper? Lost 2 children in a fire. I know what it says and I know what it means. But do you know what it means? How could you? Were you there that day? Did you ever see my girls? Ever? Then how could you know what happened to me? Did it happen to you? I don't think so. Now, let me help you understand my story a little better. I had everything anyone could want. A loving husband, a beautiful house, and wonderful children. My 2 daughters, Maggie and Betty, they could brighten up the worst days. Then came the fire. It all happened so fast. It felt like a dream. I wish it were a dream. Then I wouldn't have to deal with this pain of knowing that they're gone forever because of me. I saw my girls upstairs playing with a box of matchsticks. I took them away. I hid them. I know I hid them. But I must have dropped one on the floor. We all went down for naps, as usual. But I fell asleep. It's weird, because I never fall asleep during the day. I woke up to my daughter, Susan, crying out, "Mom, there's a fire in the house." I went up to the stairs, trying to reach to my babies, but it collapsed. And a broken arm. I tried to get out. I could hear them scream. It hurt my heart. I tried to get out with one good arm, but I couldn't. I continued to hear them scream. But that was music to my ears compared to what I heard next. Silence. You must think I'm crazy. But is it crazy, doctor, to lose your children in a fire that you could have prevented just by checking their pockets or the floor for that one matchstick? Or telling them how dangerous it is to play with fire? Is that crazy? But do you know what is crazy? They find the bodies of my daughters behind the furnace. The furnace! I didn't even think a rat could fit behind the furnace. But they were there, huddled, hugging each other, protecting each other from the flames. Why them? Why not me? I'm old. I've lived a long life. They were barely 3 years old. I know what you're thinking now. I'm crazy. Am I crazy, doctor? Define crazy. What is crazy? Where is crazy? Who do you think you are that can tell me that I'm crazy? Who is crazy, doctor? Is it me? Or you? It's not me, doctor. It must be you.
Please close the door. Yeah? All right. Welcome to dramatic interpretation. Please make sure your cell phones are turned off or on silent. Please no video recording on your personal devices. It is being recorded and it'll be up on the Seisen website at the end of the day. Okay, can we please welcome our 9th speaker, Tanvi Iyer.
This monologue is from a play about a girl with clinical depression where she confronts her family as they don't understand what she's truly going through. Yes, you're right. Guess I just have to toughen up, and there's always someone who has it worse than me. Sorry I'm so depressed all the time. Sorry I bring you down. I don't mean to ruin your day or your life. I'd love to stop being so depressed. I wish I could look at the bright side and turn that frown upside down. I wish it were that easy. You think it's all my fault, don't you? You think it's all in my head? Yes. We all have this problem, don't we? We all get a little blue sometimes. I get so blue all the time. I get so blue, I'm purple. Don't tell tell me you understand. You don't understand. Do you really know how this feels? Do you really know how this grips me inside and threatens to rip me apart? Do you know the weight that holds me down? A weight so powerful I can hardly move? Yes, I'm using this to punish you. I'm angry at you, so I'm acting this way to hurt you. I need to stop feeling sorry for myself. Me, yes, it's all about me. I want you all to drop everything and focus on me. I'm sorry you even came out of my room. Oh yeah, a nice cup of tea will instantly cure me. Maybe, if you put some strychnine in it. I wish I could just snap out of it like a spell some witch cast on me. I'm waiting for some prince to come kiss my tears away. Don't worry, I won't say anything anymore. I didn't want to bring this up. I didn't want to talk about this anyway. I bet you're sorry you asked how I was doing. How am I doing anyway? I'm hurting so bad. I wish there was something to take the pain away. I can't handle this much longer. All I want to know is that I'm not alone, that I'm important to someone. Maybe I want a hug sometimes. Maybe I want someone to tell me I'm not going crazy and that it's really not my fault. I need to know I didn't do this to myself and that I'm not the cause of this horrible thing that's happening to me. I want someone to be there for me and to help me through this. I need someone stronger than me. I'm so weak. I need someone who's strong enough for the both of us. I need to know you'll be there for me. I need to know you'll never give up on me, that you'll never leave me, that you'll never go away. And I need someone to help me not give up on myself. I want to know that I'm important, that I matter, that I'm loved. Tell me that things will get better. It helps to say something. It helps to have someone to talk to. Thank you for listening.
around here. It looks like there's one there maybe, and one there.
One here.
One here.
Please come in.
There. Yeah, there's seats.
Yeah, if you don't have to sit right in the back, you can come in. Okay, can we please close the door? Please. All right, welcome to dramatic interpretation. If you have a cell phone, please make sure it's off or in silent mode. No video recording on your personal devices, please. It is being recorded and it's up on the Seisen website at the end of the day. Okay, can we please welcome our 10th speaker, Shion Inoue.
Good afternoon. Father and son relationships can often be complicated, and whether we like to acknowledge it or not, there is always a sense of competition between the two. In this excerpt from Fences, a man bitter with the disappointments of his own life responds to his son's question, "Why don't you like me?" Like you? Like you. Who the hell says I got to like you? What law is there to say I got to like you? None? Well, all right then. Don't you eat every day? Come here, boy, when I talk to you. And stand up straight, goddammit. I asked you a question. Don't you eat every day? Boy, as long as you live under my roof, you're going to put that sir at the end of every sentence addressed to me. You got that? Good. Now, you eat every day. You got clothes on your back, and you go to school with them books and pens that I done paid for. Now, why do you think that is? Because of me. Hell, I know it's because of me. I'm asking you why you think that is. Because I like you. I go out there and bust my ass putting up with them white folk every day because I like you? Boy, you about the biggest fool I ever met. Want to stand up in my face and ask me some damn fool-ass question like that, talking about liking somebody. I do it because I'm your father, because you my son, you my flesh and blood, not because I like you, because it's my job, my responsibility. You understand that? A man's got to take care of his family. I ever tell you about my daddy? No. My daddy. He ain't never walk out on us, but he was as evil could be. My mama couldn't stand him. Done run off when I was about 8. Told me she was gonna come back for me. I ain't seen her since. He was no good for nobody. Now, real trouble came when I was about 14. My daddy sent me off to do some plowing, and I instead took to fooling around with this farmer's girl that I met. So we down there, by the creek, enjoying ourselves. When my daddy come upon us. Surprised us. He had them thick leather straps off the mule and commenced to whooping my ass like there's no tomorrow. I jumped up, scared and embarrassed. I was terrified of my daddy. And I thought, he's mad at me because I ain't done my work, because I ain't plowed them fields like he done told me to. Then, I see the matter for how it really was. I see that he's chasing me away so he could have that gal for himself. And right then and there, I lost all fear of my daddy. Right then and there is when I become a man at 14 years of age. I picked up the same reins that he used on me. The girl, she up and run off. But when my daddy turns to face me, I could see why the devil never came for him. Because he was the devil himself. I don't remember much what happened after that. All I remember was waking up at the creek, bleeding. I couldn't see nothing. I thought I was blind. My eyes were so swollen shut. I didn't know what I was going to do. I laid there and cried. The only thing I knew was that the time had come for me to leave my daddy's house. So, let's get this straight here. Before it go along any further, I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand and them spiffy bureaucrats don't give me my money come payday at the end of every month because they like me. They give me because they owe me. Now, I've done given you everything that I had to give you. I gave you your life. Those arms, them feet, that chest, that pumping heart. And liking your fool ass was not part of the bargain. So if you're not hearing a word I say, you best drill this, at least this, through your thick skull before you go out there and embarrass yourself and your father out on them streets. Don't you dare try and go through life worrying about whether or not somebody like you. You just best be making sure that they are doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I do the best I can. I come home every Sunday carrying a sack of potatoes and a bucket of lard, and you all line up at the front door with your hands out. And I give you everything, everything, every dollar, every penny, the goddamn lint from my pockets. I give you my sweat and blood. I ain't got no tears. I done spent them all. And I get up on Monday morning, get my lunch sack from the table, and I go out. Make my way. Ask the Lord to find me the strength to carry me on through to the next Monday. Because that's all I got. That's all I got to give. I can't give nothing else.
Devices, as this is all being recorded for you. You can check it out on the Seisen website. You can tell I've said this for about 11 times. All right, can we please give a warm welcome to our 12th and final contestant in this round, Yoonji Min.
Hello, my name is Hannah, and I'm 14 years old. This speech is about when I was happy living in Guyana, playing with my big brothers. In the land of my birth, I run through the tall grasses. My toes go squish, squish, squishing through the clay. The rich red Guyana's there. Peter pat, the frogs leap out of the way. Whoa, Oh wait, my big brothers. 3, 2, 1. Alright, here I come. Here comes Hannah. Then I brush the mosquitoes from my face away as I run over the wet earth, skipping over the rocks, the pebbles, around the holes, and the black bushes, oh, and under the ferns, up and down the summer path. Then the wings of the flies glisten silver and blue and beautiful, beautiful, like the fairy wings in the sun as they circle the fruits. Circle the plums, the oranges, the pears, oh, and the sticky thingy that comes down from the trees. I can smell the sweet of the fruits as I run, run, run. Swallow, swoop, and fly. Is that a hummingbird? Is it? Then hop, hop, hop over the rotted nuts, the berries, oh, and vegetable thingy that not like. Hey, can't catch me, buddy. Then my big brothers go off. We gave you a head start, Hannah Banana. We collapse, laughing, breathing, panting, so very hard at the edge of the stream. Then dip our broad feet into the ragged mud. Cool, cool, still water. The mud swims away and wiggles the toes like the little crabs. Then kick, 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 kick. I was happy, so happy that day in our Guyana, with so many waters. That was before my mama died in the fight. Before the God rest, the death of the looking and the living. Before the night. Before no sweeping the house, cover the mirrors. Mama.
Round 3, the encore performances will begin in the gym at 3:30. Thank you very much.
So if you could meet in the